Hi you guys, Not So Crazy Lady here. Rumpkin News. You can't make sane out of crazy. Las Vegas lawyer linked to death of drug informant. Las Vegas lawyer has been linked to the April killing of a police informant, records show. William Garnage, 51, faces one count of harboring, concealing, and aiding a felony offender in connection with the April 8th death of a 30-year-old Bailey K. Beck, according to his arrest. Garnage also faces theft charges in a separate case and is accused of hiding the woman's cell phone in a storage unit and refusing to turn it over to Las Vegas police detectives. His arrest reports does not explain how he obtained the phone. Court records show that Garnage was granted release on his own recognizance in the case involving the homicide, but he remained in custody on Monday at the Clark County Detention Center on theft charges. You figure that one out. Garnage was arrested July 2nd, the same day a warrant was issued for his ex-wife, lawyer Amy Garnage, who also is charged in the theft case. The two are suspected of stealing nearly $180,000 from 3 clients in personal injury cases, including $142,000 from a single client between November 2015 and February 2017. Just before Garnage was arrested on the theft charges, homicide investigators conducted a search of his storage unit. There, inside his storage tote, they found Beck's black cell phone with a cracked screen, which police said was missing from the crime scene at the 7400 block of South River Dove Court. In an interview with detectives after the search, Garnage admitted having the cell phone in the storage unit. When asked about the phone a month earlier, however, Garnage initially told police he didn't have the phone. Through the course of the homicide investigation, police learned that Christopher J. Wygant II and 2 other men were supposed to each inject Bailey Beck with narcotics in an attempt to get her to reveal if she was working with the police as a confidential informant. Remember what I just said in the other videos about confidential informants being paid? It's a racket. Beckett signed up to be a confidential informant for police after she was arrested in March on drug-related charges. After agreeing to be an informant, Beck was warned at a party attended by members of the USO street gang that she was thought to be a snitch, and it was told that her life may be in danger. Days later, she was found suffering from a head injury inside her garage and later died at Spring Valley Hospital Medical Center. Police were told that Wygant, a member of the USO gang, and another man administered the injections, but the other man backed out at the last minute. Wygant's arrest report said Wygant also expressed his intent to kill Beck shortly before the attack, the report said, and he was arrested June 27th on a murder charge. Beck's roommates last saw her alive the evening of April 6th when she was with 4 men and a woman at her house. Police have said Wygant and at least 1 other man were upstairs with Beck when the roommates heard a commotion coming from her bedroom. Beck later crawled down the stairs across the hall and into the garage where she was found. Does that make sense to you? What happened to the 4 people? She later crawled down the stairs across the hall and into the garage where she was found. What happened in the meantime? On July 3rd, Garnage's outgoing phone calls from the jail were monitored by homicide detectives. While on the phone with his mother, the report detailed, Garnage specifically asked his mother if a black cellular telephone had been recovered by the police. You're not a graduate of Law and Order series, are you, buddy? When his mother said she thought police took a blue flip phone during the search. Garnard said that's not the right phone, the report said. Detectives in the report noted that they believe Garnage knows the importance of the black cellular telephone, as he thought it belonged to Bailey Beck and had been missing since her murder, indicating there might be material relevant to the murder on the cell phone. These people are geniuses, aren't they? Fucking geniuses. The report provided no other details regarding the phone's contents. Garnage is scheduled to appear in court on August 8th for the charge linking to the murder case, court records show. Contact Rio Lacanlau at the address you see right there. I'm not even going to try to say it. RLACANLALE at reviewjournal.com or 702-383-0381. Lots of 3s and 8s in there, people. 702-383-0381. And you can follow at RIOLACANLALE on Twitter. Confidential informants. It's a full-time job these days. Las Vegas woman found dead was police informant. Shortly after, 30-year-old woman signed up to be a confidential informant for the police. She was told of the gang party her life might be in danger. Still repeating the same shit. His recently released search warrant said days later she was dead. Las Vegas detectives learned that Bailey Beck, who signed up after March 23rd, really? 323? People are pathetic. Drug-related arrest, was told at USO gang party that she was thought to be a snitch. The threat was general and not specific. Beck was not certain if the threat was real. I'm sorry. If you're a snitch and somebody comes up and says, "We think you're a snitch," that's real enough for me. Beck was found with a head injury early April 8th inside her garage. An autopsy performed the next day revealed she had several injection marks on her body, although the cause of death was ruled to be blunt force trauma. They're not saying what kind of drug it was, though. Oh, injector with narcotics. But under narcotics, that could also be meth. Let's see. Through the course of their investigation, warrants said police learned that Christopher J. Wygant II and 2 other men were supposed to inject her. One of the other men followed through with the injection, but the one backed out last minute. Repeating the same shit. Well, again, at least one more man were upstairs with Beck when there was a commotion coming from her bedroom. The warrant said Beck later crawled down the stairs, across the hall, and into the garage where she was found. A narcotic detective had spoken with Beck from April 2nd until April 5th, and she had helped police identify places where drugs and those involved in drugs would be, the warrant said. She moved drugs for the USO and the Aryan warrior gangs, the warrant said. Beck was facing felony drug charges prior to her death, court records indicated. Wygant remained in the Clark County Detention Center on Thursday night. He has a preliminary hearing scheduled July 13th. No one else at the house has been arrested on charges in Beck's death as of Thursday night, records show. Well, that's a little freaking odd. Because at the very minimum, if they heard a commotion and they knew what was going on or had an idea, and then just left her there to crawl down the stairs. Oh, they're complicit as hell. They are complicit as hell. Told you people, it's all a racket. If there's any message more glaring about not getting involved with drugs, it would be because eventually law enforcement's gonna own your ass one way or another. And why people have forgotten their Constitution can only be blamed on the people who are supposed to be bringing these kids up. You're being raised by fucking criminals. What more do people expect when you give a trophy to every kid? Because that's not cheating anymore. Or you buy the test scores for your kids in the university. That's not cheating. Eventually, nothing's beyond, Thelemic law. Do what thou wilt. There was a time in my life when I would have called myself a coward, but you could never get me to do some of the things that people are just taking a check for these days. You pay high interest rates on credit cards, not based on your credit score, really, but based on all the card crackers that are, stealing millions and millions. So they're going to pawn it off on you based on if you imaginary came up with something somewhere, credit score, by 3 people or 3 organizations you never fucking met. And there's so much fraud going on that literally the people that are supposed to control the fraud are profiting from having the fraud there in the first place. But I'm the crazy one, right? Get the fuck out of here.